Hi everyone, my name is Barini. In this session, I'm going to show you how to set up the Linux development environment on a Chromebook Pro machine and also install MariaDB database and Visual Studio Code on that Linux environment in order to write down a very simple Python application to connect it to MariaDB via a good API and then retrieve the data from MariaDB database. So let's get started. I have already created several steps for you to set up all of these required tools and also environments. The first thing that we need to do, we need to enable the Linux development environment on the Chromebook. So for this, we need to go to the settings, about Chrome OS, developers, and Linux development environment. So you need just to go to launcher, scroll down, you go to the settings, and when you go to the settings, you can find out about Chrome OS, scroll down, find out the developers part, and in the developers part, you can find out Linux development environment. In the Linux development environment part, you see setup button at the right side of it. You click on the setup button, it says that setup Linux development environment, click next, and then set up your username. My username is Barini, and the recommended disk space or disk size is 10 GB, which I'm gonna accept it, and then click on install to continue. It says that this process may take a few minutes, but for my machine it will take around less than 1 minute to set this up. So let's wait for this installation to complete. Look, it says that setting up the Linux container, but this is the out of the scope of this session. I'm not going to explain these things to you. Just accept it as it is. All right. Once it is installed successfully, you can see this terminal. And in the terminal, the first command that I'm going to insert is pwd to see where am I. I am at home, Barini, and then type ls to see if there is any folders or files. It is empty, so at home, Barini, there is no folders, there is no files. Now let's go back to our PowerPoint slide. Step 1 is okay. Step 2, on the terminal app, we need to write down sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade -y. So why do we do this? We do these things because we want to make sure that our applications are the list table of our application is in the updated version. So sudo apt update will update the list of the applications, but it doesn't upgrade the applications at all. If you really want to upgrade your applications, and then you need to type sudo apt upgrade -y, so to upgrade all the applications to the latest version that have been published. It will take a while to upgrade the current apps, because update version just update the list of the changes, but upgrade will really upgrade your upgrade your apps. That's why it takes longer, because it doesn't just update the list, but it really updates the apps. So All right, no problem so far. And then the next step, we are going to install MariaDB server. So in order to install MariaDB server, we need to go to terminal again and write down sudo apt install MariaDB-server and then -y. So sudo means that we want to give the administrative privilege to run the command after the sudo. So for example, in that case, we want to give the administrative privilege to apt and then the rest. So apt install MariaDB-server and -y. I press enter. -y means that please answer y to all the questions that may be asked during the setup. Okay, so far so good. The MariaDB server has been successfully installed because I don't see any error messages here. Now the next step is to secure MariaDB installation. Secure MariaDB installation means that, for example, you want to set up the password for your root or try to remove any anonymous, users that may be available and something like that. In order to see what does this do, let's run this command and take a look at the steps together. So I'm gonna type sudo MySQL _secure installation. So when I press enter, so it says that enter the current password for the root. I don't have any current password. I press enter and it says that switch to Unix socket authentication. Yes, let's switch to that. And then it says that change the root password. Yes, I would like to type root 123 semicolon. And it says that change the root password. Oh yeah, yes. And the new password is root 123 semicolon. Re-enter root 123 semicolon. It says that remove anonymous users. Yes, I would like to remove them. It says that disallow root login remotely. Yes, I would like to disallow that. Remove test databases. Yes, I would like to do that. Reload privileged tables now. Yes. Go ahead. All right. Now we have also secured our MariaDB installation. The next step is to verify MariaDB installation. So in order to verify MariaDB installation, we just need to type sudo systemctl and then a status MariaDB and then press enter. If you see enabled and if you see active running, this means that your MariaDB database has been successfully installed. Press enter. We are at the end. Escape. Q, and then when I press Q, we can exit. Now we go to login to the MariaDB shell. So we need to log in to see if it really works. So I just say sudo MySQL -u with the username is root. The password, it's gonna ask our password. So the password is root 123 semicolon. Now we are in the MariaDB. So if we type help, we can see the commands that we can use in the MariaDB terminal commands. So now I really would like to exit. I don't want to use this one. I would like to have a graphical user interface to connect to MariaDB. So in that case, I type exit semicolon. So it says bye-bye and say, okay, bye-bye. Now let's go to the next steps. Let's maximize the slideshow. In the next step, we should make sure that the PHP extensions have been successfully installed. If not, we are gonna install them. So, and then why do we need to install PHP? Because we are gonna install a graphical user interface tool to connect it to MariaDB. So first of all, let's double check if the PHP is installed. So PHP -v. It says that command not found, so this means that we don't have the PHP installed on our machine, so we need to install it. So we say sudo apt install. We want to install PHP and then lib apache 2 dash mode dash PHP, and then -y means answer everything as y. Press enter. It's gonna install PHP on our Linux environment. This is step number 7. And then let me just move it a little bit here. Right. Now, I don't see any error messages here. The next step is to install the required PHP extension. In that case, MySQL extension. So we would like to install MySQL extension for the PHP. So sudo apt install PHP MySQL -y. Press enter. So we have successfully installed the required extension for PHP, in that case MySQL. We can also optionally install PDO MySQL extension. PDO stands for PHP Data Objects. So let's also install this, sudo apt install and then PHP-PDO PHP Data Objects -y. So we have also successfully installed that. Now we need to install a web server. So we can install a web server in this session. We can install Apache 2 web server. So sudo apt install Apache 2 -y. So we have successfully installed Apache 2 in our Linux environment. Then let's restart Apache 2 to make sure that everything is up and running. So sudo systemctl restart, and then the name of the application is Apache 2. No problem, no error messages. Everything is good so far. Now let's go to the next steps. Step number 12, install Adminer. Adminer is a lightweight and easy to use web-based database management tool. And we can download Adminer using wget. Wget stands for webget. So we can get like this PHP from this address and then copy it into our computer. So we are gonna copy this wget and right click here, enter. So this has been successfully copied. So downloaded and copied. Now we need to move this adminer.php file into the web servers directory. In our example is we have installed Apache 2 as the web server. So let's install this sudo mv adminer.php to /var/www/html. I click here, right click, press enter. All right. And then the next step is access Adminer by finding your Linux IP address. If you want to find out your Linux IP address, you need to use IP addr show eth0 and then grep, and then all of these things that you can see here are can be used to retrieve your IP address. I'm not going to explain this Linux command at the moment, but maybe in another session, which I can teach you about the commands in Linux. So maybe there I can explain like these commands later, but not now. Just accept it and use these commands because we just want to go through from zero to hero to install the Linux environment, MariaDB, Visual Studio, write on the Python application, connect it to it, and that's it. So in that case, this will return the IP address of my Linux environment. The IP address is 100, 115, 92, 206. So we need to copy this. Address. And then we need to go to a browser. So step number 15 is open your browser and then type HTTP and then this address, http://100.115.92.206/adminer.php. I have already opened browser here. Let's press here. Look, 100, 115, 92, 206, adminer.php. Now we are in the adminer graphical user interface. We need to connect to a database. We need to connect to, using MySQL, we need to connect to MariaDB. Our server is localhost. Our username is root. Our password is root 123 semicolon. No database as any default database. Press login, and then we have successfully connected to MariaDB database. These are like the databases that are available here. Now we need to go to the next step, which in that case we need to follow the following steps. 1. Download number 17. Download Sakila database and try to import the data from Sakila database into our MariaDB. So in order to download Sakila database, we need to go to this dev.mysql.com, doc, index, other HTML. So this is like the web page address for this. We need to go here. And then here we go. We can go to download the Sakila database. Where is it? Yeah, here. I have already opened the web page here. If you scroll down, you can find out that the Sakila database is here. We are going to download the TJZ file. We have downloaded the Sakila database TJZ file. Let's go back to our steps. So then we need to really import these things into our adminer and MariaDB database. So in order to do so, I'm going back into adminer.php page. So let's go to import. But before we go to import, we need to extract our files. So I open my files. I go to downloads. I am trying to right click here, cut, go to Linux files, and paste it here into my Linux files. It is possible to right click on my downloads and manage Linux sharing. This means that I can share this download file with my Linux, but I don't want to do that. Now I have this GZ file, tar.gz file, right click, and then copy, go back to my Linux, paste it here. Once I paste it here, I delete. And then inside Sakila-DB, we have Sakila-data SQL and Sakila-schema. First, let's import the schema. So Sakila schema, and then it meets the requirements because the size of Sakila schema is 24 kilobyte. It's less than 2 megabytes. So we are going to execute that. Now 46 queries executed. Okay. But then if we try to choose and import Sakila data, the size is 3.2 megabyte. When I press on open and execute this, it says that unable to upload a file, maximum allowed file size is 2 megabyte. How can we solve this issue? We go back to our files, right click on this data, open it with text, scroll down to all the way down to the end of the file, scroll up, try to find out like these. Let's try to remove some of like these from line 46405. We are gonna remove like until 33,000 records. Let's go further. We are now in 42. Let's go further to remove all of these records that we have. Now we are in 37, 36,000, 35,000, 34, 33. So we are gonna reach to 33,000. So now we are here. Let's remove these. The last line includes semicolons. So let's close this, and it asks us to save it. Yes, save it. And is this like let's say like, yeah, it's 2.1 megabyte, but yet it is big. So we have to go back again to the file and scroll down all the way down to the end of the file, and then scroll up to find out this line, and then let's remove a few number of lines again from line 33,000 upwards. Let's go and reach to 32,000, 32,000, 31,000, let's say 31,000, 31,000. Where are we at the moment? Yeah, something like that. Let's remove until 31,000. Something like that. 31, something like this. And then delete. The last one includes semicolon, so close this, save. Now let's go back here. It shows 2 megabytes, but let's see if it is really 2 megabytes. Now we go to choose files, choose Sakila-data SQL, open, execute. Now it says that 61 queries executed. Okay, let's test our database. Go back to server. The Sakila database has been successfully imported here. Now we have also imported the data. Let's open the actor table, select data here. Look, it shows all the data here. Let's go to the last page. The last record is 200 Torah temple. Similar to the applications that I have written here, that I have written for you in Windows machine, and in a Windows machine, and also in a Mac OS machine. So this is similar to that, but instead of using MySQL, we used MariaDB and the MySQL driver to connect to it in a Linux environment, in a Google Chromebook Pro machine. So now this means that our data is ready, our database is ready, our table, everything is ready. So Sakila is here, our table actor is here, the data is okay. Now let's go back to our steps. So then step 18 is Python 3 should be pre-installed in your Linux development environment. This means that we don't need to reinstall Python, we need to double check. We need to double check if the Python has been successfully installed. But in order to do so, we should just type Python 3 and then -- version. We are not going to use Python 2, just Python 3. We have Python 3.11.2 installed on this machine. Fine, no problem. And then the next step is to really install the pip. So install Python 3 pip. So first of all, we need to do sudo apt update. So update the list of the possible applications that require any upgrade, and then we say sudo apt or apt upgrade -5. So we are going to upgrade them if there is any, because we have already upgraded everything just recently. There is nothing to be upgraded. And then we need to let's say we need to do sudo apt install Python 3-pip, because we need that. And it said, do you want to continue? Yes, I do want to continue. So this will successfully install pip3 in our Linux environment, because we need this pip3 in the coming commands. So we have to wait for pip3 to install. I see no error so far, 99%, 100%, no error messages. So in that case, let's check pip3 and then -- version to make sure that everything is okay. Yes, pip 23.0.1 from this, Python 3.11. And then now it's time to install VSCode. We can do sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade. So we can do like sudo apt update and also sudo apt upgrade. There is nothing to upgrade. And then we can go to the official VSCode download page, code.visualstudio.com, to download the Visual Studio file. So I have already opened this this web page, and we need to download .deb, which stands for Debian files. So I'm gonna install the Debian one. So click on .deb for Debian. We have downloaded the file. So when we go to downloads, in downloads you can find out the deb file. You can double click on that and then click on install, and then okay, it will take some time to install this VS Code. We need to wait for this installation to complete. So far so good. I don't see any errors, and I don't see anything. 95% have been successfully completed. We are almost done. Okay, installation is in progress. Okay, installation has been completed. Okay, I close this one. Let's go back to my presentation. So we went here and then we downloaded the VS Code. Now the next step, I'm going to show you the next steps. Number 22, step number 22, create a project folder to include your Python file. So in order to create a project folder, we need to go again to our terminal and then insert mkdir to create our directory, mkdir MariaDB _ Python _ app. This is like the project folder that we want to create, and then we need to use cd command to go to this, to change our current directory. And then we need to install and create a virtual environment for Python. So let's first go for step number 22. For step number 22, we are now in the terminal. We need to just say mkdir and then MariaDB _ Python _ app, press enter, and then cd MariaDB Python app. So now when I type pwd, you see my current directory is home /barani MariaDB _ Python _ app. Now we need to install and create virtual environment for Python. So for this we need to enter sudo apt install python 3.11-venv. So it's for venv is for our virtual environment for our Python application. So sudo apt install and then Python 3.11, because the Python that I have installed in my Linux environment is 3.11.2. We just put the first two numbers, 3.11. So sudo apt install python 3.11-venv, press enter. We have, do you want to continue? Yes. So this means that we have successfully installed it in our laptop, and then Python 3-v. Let's also install and create the virtual environment, and then we need to run Python 3 -m and then venv to really create it. So we have installed, and also now we have created it. So then we need to active the virtual environment. So in order to active the virtual environment, we just use source virtual environments, or venv, which we have already created here. So we say source venv/binary/activate, and then press enter. So in that case we have activated our virtual environment. Now look, I have written here for you, your terminal prompt should change to venv$. Look, my terminal is changed from this one to venv. Now this means that we are in the active virtual environment for the Python. So then we need to install the MariaDB connector Python. So in that case we say pip3 install MariaDB. Do you remember when I told you that we need this pip3? So we have installed the pip3 in the previous, here we installed the install Python 3 pip. and then verified it. I told you that we need it in the future commands, and this is the command that we needed. We need to install the MariaDB connector Python. So for this we need pip3. So we say pip3 install MariaDB and then press enter, and it will install the required connector for the Python. But now let's see what is really going on, because it says an error message to us. There is a problem with the version of that. So let's see what is really going on here. I figured out the issue, and the issue was we need to install, because the MariaDB database driver has not successfully installed. So I added step A into sub-step A into step 25. So in that case, we are going to say sudo apt install lib MariaDB -dev. So we need to install this driver and then try to activate our environment using source. So we say source and then virtual environment /binary or bin /activate and press enter. Now we are in the virtual environment, and then now it's time to say pip3 install MariaDB. Look, everything is okay. I don't see any error message anymore. So that was the issue. So I have added this issue in order to avoid that error message that we have seen already. Now let's go to the next page, step 26. In step 26, we need to open VSCode using code space dot command through the terminal on Linux, and then install Python extension. So let's go and then do number 26. Here we go. We can say code dot and then press enter to open our Python environment. Sorry, to open our Visual Studio environment. So this is the Visual Studio environment, and yes, I trust the authors, and this is MariaDB _Python _app. All right, so we are now in Visual Studio environment. The next step is to install Python extension, or search Python and install this extension for the Python. So in the left side, you see we have explore, we have search, we have source control, we have run and debug, and we have extensions. We go to extensions, and here we type Python, and then from the list of the extensions, we try to find out this Python extension, and then try to install it together with other extensions. What does it say? It says, do you trust the publisher? Yes, I do. So I try to install it together with other 7 extension packs. So it tries to install all of them, and let's go back here. Then now we are in step number 28. Select the Python interpreter in VS Code. So we need to, in VS Code, we need to open the command palette, or press Ctrl+Shift+P or Command+Shift+P, and then type Python : select interpreter. Once we type Python select interpreter, we need to press enter and then choose the Python interpreter from the virtual environment that we have set, for example venv. And then it will likely be in the .venv/bin/python directory within your project folder. So let's go back here into our Visual Studio. This extension has been successfully installed. Let's go back here into our Explorer. So it says that we need to press Ctrl+Shift+P. So let's close this extension. Let's close this page. Ctrl+Shift+P. And then we need to type Python : as you can see here, we need to type Python : select interpreter. I'm gonna just copy this here, go back here, Ctrl+Shift+P, and then paste it here. Look, we can select Python interpreter. So this is like our Python interpreter, and then this is Python 3.11.2 venv. So we are gonna, this is our workspace, we are gonna click on that. So now this is our virtual environment, and then we have selected this, the Python interpreter in VSCode. And then we need to create the Python script. So in VSCode, create a new file name, connect_MariaDB.py, or any other names that you prefer. Connect_MariaDB.py. We can create anything here. We are now, this is the virtual environment. This is a binary folder. This is the include folder, lib or library folder, lib64, and so on and so forth. Now we need to create a new Python file. So we go to file, we go to new file, we choose Python file, and then here in the Python file, I have already created the source code for this Python file. So let's go to the next page. Step number 30, this is the source code that I have already created. I'm gonna copy and paste this source code. So let's copy this source code, this Python source code that I have created, paste it here. And we are supposed to call it connect_MariaDB.py or any other names that we want. So let's save it like as that name. So I go to file, save, and then I call it connect_MariaDB.py, and then save. So this is our application, Python application. This is the source code. So then the next step is to run your Python script. So open the VSCode terminal. So we need to open the VSCode terminal inside the VSCode, and then ensure the virtual environment is activated. If not, we need to run virtual environment bin activate, and then run a script Python 3 connect_MariaDB.py. But we can also, let's give it a try from here to just run it from this part. We can also run it from here, or we can simply go to terminal and then create new terminal and then run it using this command that I have written here for you. But the easiest way is to go here and then click on that, and look here, it shows you all the records of this that are available in your MariaDB database, specifically in Sakila database, in actor table. The last one is 200 Torah temple, similar to the previous applications that we have created on Windows machine, on a Windows machine, on a Mac OS machine, and also created a Java application on also on a Google Chromebook Pro machine. So this is like this. This is our Python application. We need to import MariaDB because we would like to connect to MariaDB, because this is error prone. So we have to write down the code, the connection code inside the try block. So we try to connect to MariaDB.connect means that we want to connect to the MariaDB database using the username root. Password is password. Host is localhost, port is 3306, the database is Sakila because we want to connect to the Sakila database. We need to create our cursor. The cursor is a pointer that can connect to each record. So we create our cursor, and then we can say cursor.execute. And this is like select a statement that will return it will return the actor ID, first name and last name from actor. That is limited to the 200 records. We can remove the limitation. We can say from actor, and also we can say where actor underline ID is equal to 200. So just return one of the records that we are interested in. And in that case, it will return only Torah temple for us when we apply the where clause. But now let's remove it and then run it again. It will return all the values that we have. So we execute this select statement, and then we use a for loop to print out all the values that we have in our cursor. What are the values that we have in cursor? We have actor ID, we have first name, and we have last name. So we are going to write them down here. And then if anything happens, the except block will handle the exceptions. So MariaDB.error will handle all the exceptions as E, and then we can say print, and then use this E variable in order to catch any specific exceptions that may occur. For example, if we change select to select one and then run this application, it says that error connecting to MariaDB, you have error in your SQL syntax. So this means that there is a syntax error in our SQL. We have to fix that. So if we change it, so this is exactly the code that is responsible to catch this error message. And also finally, don't forget to close your cursor, and don't forget to close your connection. So we close our cursor and we close our connection, and also inside the final block we can of course use try and except to make sure that if anything happens in between, we can catch it using the except block. That's basically about writing a very simple Python application to connect it to MariaDB on Google Chrome on a Google Chromebook Pro. I hope you enjoyed it. As you have seen, the setup and the settings and setup are time consuming and most crucial compared to writing even the code. Writing the code is easy, but settings and setups and troubleshooting the errors and exceptions and this and that, it may take quite a long time. All right, thank you so much. I wish all of you a lot of success and see you later. Bye bye.